Hi! Welcome to the first lesson of our coloring tutorial. Every professional artist begins with the basics, one step at a time. If you are a bit afraid of ruining your coloring page, remember there is no such a thing. Adult coloring is about having fun. However, consider taking a step-by-step approach. In this lesson, we're going to color a page inspired by Kenny Scharf's beautiful mural found in the Ultimate Street Art Coloring Book. Let's start with the most important part, layering. What is layering? The method of layering involves putting one color on top of another to get a desired effect. There are a couple of reasons you would want to layer your colors. To create an even color. To create shadows and highlights. To create colors you don't have in your set. Or to add depth to your color. In this video, we will show you how to create a base color, shadows, and highlights. Now, let's start with adding our first layer. The first thing you'll need to do is create a clean, base color. The easiest way to apply a color is coloring with back and forth movement. This coloring technique is so basic, you've undoubtedly done it before. Simply, move your pencil back and forth in one continuous motion on the paper, until you cover the entire area. Keep your pressure light and even throughout the whole area. Don't start with a heavy layer first. And make sure to apply color in one direction. You don't want to end up with uneven parts. Your first layer is going to be lightly saturated and will look faded. But that's okay. You will enrich the color applying multiple layers. For your second layer, do the same method as before, but this time color in a different direction, intersecting the lines you already made. Quick tip, remember to sharpen your pencils. You'll have more control over the pressure if you keep your pencils sharp. Dull pencils can give you unwanted results. Let's add a third layer. You can add as many layers as you want. But each time, go in a different direction. Easy, right? Shading. Shadows are crucial to give your artwork a professional look. There are a couple of ways you can add them. Using black over your color. Using darker shade of your base color. Or, using a complementary color. Right now, we're using a darker shade of green. Keep the same pressure as before. We'll build up shadows slowly. Go over again with the base color, in order to make a smoother transition. You can keep switching between your shading color and base color until you get the desired look. Once you're done, let's add some finishing touches. Tinting. Also known as highlights. There are a few ways of making them. Using a white pencil, using a tinted version of your base color, or simply using less pressure on your lighter area while layering your base color. Here, we'll be using a light green pencil for highlights. Remember, different quality pencils will give you different results. Wax-based pencils are the best when it comes to tinting, as it's easier to layer lighter shades on top of the darker ones. Feel free to use a bit more pressure this time. Once again, switch between pencils for better color transition. And we're done. Let's move to another area. We'll repeat the same process, but this time, we're going to use a white pencil for tinting. It's a good idea to leave the area you want to highlight with less pigments. Not every colored pencil set has a white color, but if you choose to get one, you won't regret it. And you're all good to go. Once you've learned these basic layering steps, you can try out different ways to add shadows. If you don't have a white pencil, you can leave the highlighted areas uncolored. You can also use an eraser to remove the color and create highlights. Now, let's look at another way to make shadows without using darker shades. Use your base color's complementary color. By adding a color from the other side of the color wheel, you are making a neutral color that will, in most cases, turn into brown or dark gray. Perfect for shadows. The complementary color of orange is blue. So we're using blue for shadows. Pretty cool, huh? Let's look at a third way to add shading to your coloring page. Use the black pencil in your set. As always, build up your base color first. In case you don't have a variety of pencils to choose from, the black pencil will have to be your go-to tool for shading. But be careful not to press too hard. As always, keep the pressure light. Once you've put a light layer of black pencil, go over it with the purple pencil again, using different directions. You can do this process a couple of times until your coloring page gets saturated. And lastly, let's go over one more way for shading and tinting. You've undoubtedly done it before. It's every beginner's first approach to coloring. It's called pressure shading. If you're limited with colored pencils, and don't have tinted and shaded version of your base color, no worries. You can create tints and shades with a single pencil by using a lighter pressure for a tint, and a heavier one for shading. Easy, right? Now that you are all caught up with the basics, let's color the rest of the page. We are almost done. Make sure to check out the next tutorial. We're going to help you go from a beginner to an expert in no time. Well, maybe sometime. The pages of the Ultimate Street Art Coloring Book are detachable. You can easily frame your artwork. Learn more at aimfulbooks.com.